We should be live in just a second.
Yep. Says so on my end.
Okay, cool, man. Well, I appreciate you taking your time out, Vaughn.
Thanks for having me.
You know, it's a very, very, very interesting topic for today. A lot of people are going to get a lot of information out of this here. And I think it's something that a lot of people are asking questions, but are not really getting the answers to. So today we're going to get into coronavirus, and we're going to talk about, you know, how to protect yourself from it. And we're going to get into some things that we could do to prevent it, and why some people are more susceptible, vulnerable than others. And today, y'all, we have my brother Vaughn Scales on the line. And Vaughn, thank you for joining me on this live today.
Thank you for having me, man. Good to be here.
So let's get right into it, man. I mean, you know, why wait and bore the people, man? Because I know people want to know. So this is something that's of interest to you and myself. So why do you think? I want to get started with, why do you think people are more vulnerable to getting COVID-19 than others?
Well, if you're talking about why brown people are, I mean, people with pre-existing conditions are susceptible, just because when you're fighting off a virus of this magnitude, you need all hands on deck. And if you're already depleted because you're fighting off other ailments, you're just naturally more susceptible. But if you're asking why brown people are more susceptible, it's a very simple answer to that. And I get tired of people saying that brown people are, and all of this traces back. Let me start there. All of it traces back to your vitamin D levels. And I get sick of people saying, well, brown people, black people, whatever, are vitamin D deficient. That's not the story. That's not exactly what it is. And I'll tell you why. Why it pisses me off so is because when things pertain to us, a lot of times they're spoken in the negative, when it's geographical. It's not as simple as we're deficient. And I'll explain to you what I mean by that. So if you know a white person, obviously you do, but particularly we're going to talk about Central European, something like a person from Ireland, a red-haired person. And if you check their vitamin D levels, their vitamin D levels are naturally higher than yours and mine. Why is that? Well, if you look at the climate there, it doesn't matter what time of year it is, but even in the summer, and I lived in Belgium for 2 years, so 2 seasons. I wasn't there for 2 full years, but two basketball seasons, and it's always gray. So your ability to stand out in the sun and get vitamin D is compromised by that. So their bodies, you know, their genetics harvest and hold on to vitamin D at a higher rate than ours. Now, conversely, you and I, our ancestors are from some place close to the equator. You know, everybody's from Africa, but we're direct descendants of people from Africa, you know, Central Caribbean, something like that. So, and we, on the other hand, are supposed to spend, and the other thing with you know, Central Europeans, it snows over there, so a lot of times you're stuck in the house, so you have to hold a higher level of vitamin D. Whereas we can be outside year round, and we're supposed to, where everybody gets vitamin D from is from the sun.
So I don't mean to cut you off, but what exactly is vitamin D, and what is its job in our bodies?
D is it's a foundational vitamin, and a lot of people say it's also a mineral, but it doesn't do a ton of things in and of itself. But any other vitamin that most of the other vitamins that you take have to attach to D to work. So it's a foundational. Doctors call it a foundation. It's some people call it a hormone, but it's a foundational vitamin, hormone, mineral. So you need it in order to build everything else. So but vitamin D is a cornerstone a foundational component of your immune system. And because we live in, and you'll look at the rates of African Americans that live in, say, Miami or Houston or LA, New Mexico. They're, because they have access to more sunlight on a year-round basis. They're if you look at that population, their COVID levels are going to be less because they get to draw a good amount of their vitamin D from the sun, which is what it was originally intended. So the reason that we are susceptible, you're a brown person, you grew up in Minnesota, stays cold there till April 20th, basically, 6 feet of snow a year. You just don't have the ability to sit and bask in the sun to build your vitamin D levels up. Conversely, if we had as much vitamin D as an islander, you'd have too much, and then you'd have adverse effects due to that. So for brown people and everybody that's fighting COVID, because it's not just us, but there are white people that run around that have low vitamin D levels. I've met quite a few, actually, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, so I can't figure out why, but it's weird to see. But if you would just institute a daily regimen of three things: vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc, you are drastically helping your body build a stronger immune system and fight off not just COVID, but anything that shows up. They'll tell you to take vitamin C, D, and zinc for anything. During flu season, they tell you the same thing just because it bolsters your immune system. And so what I wanted to do is take it a step further, because those things are great, but I wanted to know what would target the immune system itself. And I talked to a bunch of doctors, and one doctor gave me the name of a peptide, and you and I talk about peptides all the time, but it's called thymosin or thymosin. Half the pharmacists I talk to call it thymosin, the other half call it thymosin. It's probably thymosin. Just if you look at how drugs and other pharmaceuticals are pronounced, it's probably thymosin. But either way, thymosin, THYMOSIN, or thymosin, whatever. So what thymosin is it literally is your immune system. It fights, it provides what are called killer cells. And those are the cells that go out and kill viruses. So what thymosin does, and you can do it as an injection, you can inject it into your butt, your stomach fat or whatever, but you and I, as you know, because you and I talk about this all the time, we do at the clinic, we do infusions. We do it infusion based, and because I can infuse a lesser amount, and get a greater result with lower impact on the body. So what it does, thymosin immediately goes and finds your thymus gland. And a lot of people don't even know what a thymus gland is, but a thymus gland is what produces your immune system. So what thymosin does is it finds your thymus, and it helps your thymus produce your immune system. And when you have an influx, when you have a presence of thymosin, you're far less likely to you can get it, because it's simply a virus, and you can't necessarily keep your body from getting a virus. You can just lessen the effects of it, and that's what thymosin does. But the same thing is true with vitamin D, vitamin C, and zinc.
Right. Okay.
But I want to say that coronavirus, for most people, it's not a death sentence, but it's not as deadly for brown people as they make it out to be. I mean, I honestly believe it's a scare tactic, and if you take the responsibility of your own health into your own hands, then you stand a very, very good chance of getting it. It's a bad flu, the level of a bad flu, then you walk away.
So you're saying if we add additional, if we're not already adding vitamin D to our daily regimen, then we need to add vitamin D.
Vitamin D3, and you want 10,000 IUs, because it's measured in IUs. You want at least 10,000 IUs, which isn't a lot. It's probably 4 pills of it. You want 3,000 milligrams of C, and you want 200 milligrams of zinc every day.
Okay. Now, is there any type of like symptoms or something that we should look for if we take too much of vitamin D or too much C or too much zinc? Because I know a lot of people, for myself, when I go to the store and I buy vitamin C, you buy them in 500 milligram, you buy them in 1,000 milligram, so is there anything that could happen to me if I take too much vitamin D, too much vitamin C, or too much vitamin or too much zinc?
Well, I can tell you for sure, because I've seen the effects of this, you do not want to take too much vitamin C, because and the next time we get together, I'll show you ascorbic acid, which is vitamin C, but that's what we infuse. I'll show you how thick it is. And it can have an effect on your liver and kidneys if you take too much of it. But too much of it for a lot of people is 6,000 to 10,000 milligrams a day. But a lot of people take it at that level to ward off cancer. But we can infuse 3 times that and you can tolerate it because it's going directly in your bloodstream. But yeah, if you took 6,000 milligrams of vitamin C, you're gonna run the risk of giving yourself kidney stones over an extended period of time, and stomach cramps, and there are a few other things that I can't remember off the top of my head. But if you took too much vitamin C over a 2 or 3 day period, you'd know.
Right. Yeah. And I know you, Vaughn. I've known you for some time now, and I understand the things that you do. But for those that are watching that are on my page, I don't know if they know you or what you do. But could you break down a little bit your history as far as like your interest into the health community?
Sure. Well, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a pharmacist. I'm not a chemist. The only thing I like to do is my interest came because of a couple of things that happened in my life. The first thing that happened is I had knee problems, and I had a doctor tell me that I was probably 3 to 5 years, which would have been like this year, 3 to 5 years away from a joint replacement in my left knee. And I'm like, no. And I'm like, oh, I know this orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Lehman. And I went to him. He's like, oh, we'll just give you PRP. I'm like, what's that? Platelet-rich plasma. And platelet-rich plasma is a process where doctor pulls 60 mLs of blood out of your body. They spin it down to about 5 mLs. It turns beet red. It separates into red, yellow, and clear. And then it's re-injected into the problem area, and it stimulates the regrowth of cartilage. And I had it done 5 years ago, and I had no knee problems until about 3 weeks ago, when I was out running football drills with high school kids, and I should have had cleats on, and I slipped and hurt my knee. So the last Monday, not this Monday, but last Monday, I had PRP done in my knees again, because I have it in the office. So why not do it? And I don't have knee pain in my knees anymore, and it'll start regrowing cartilage, and it helps with the repair of ligaments, tendons, everything. And I have 3 sons that play college football, and 2 of them have had PRP, and one of them has had PRP and stem cell therapy, both. So it's just a wonderful thing. But then that was in 2015. Then in November that year, my father passed away. He had Alzheimer's, and I was told the same thing by doctors that everyone else is told, that there's no cure for it. They can give you medications to slow the advancement of it, but it's pretty much a death sentence. Excuse me. And about 7 months after my dad died, I was reading something, and I think I was looking at stuff basically on YouTube, and then there was an ad that came on. But as it was saying Alzheimer's, how you click skip ad or whatever, right, and I could never find it again. So I spent another, 3 months trying to find it, and I finally came across that ad, and it was for something called NAD or NAD. And what NAD is basically vitamin B3, and it is proven to halt and reverse the effects of Alzheimer's and dementia.
Wow.
And so once I found that, you know, I was the first I was then I was pissed off because all I had to do was do the same reading, you know, a year before, 2 years before. Because some of the articles I found were from like 2011 and 12, so it's been around, you know. But I was a little pissed off at myself, so I just dove in. And right around the time Dad was dying, I had my first chronic pain infusion from a guy down here in Atlanta, and that changed my life because it got rid of my lower back pain for long stretches at a time. It didn't correct anything, but it made me more optimistic because I was out of pain. And I'm like, well, what else can you use this stuff for? And so me being the personality type that I am, I just started doing research. And I said, well, why aren't more people doing infusion therapy? Because it's better than taking pills. It's a lower impact on the body, and there's a greater, a better outcome. And so I started working with doctors, and there's a pharmacy that was that started producing my first infusion, the chronic pain infusion. And I just went to them and I said, can you make other infusions that would replace pills? And they asked me what I was thinking about. And I was there with a doctor because they wouldn't take my word for it. But I was there with a very well-known retired orthopedic surgeon in St. Louis. His name is George Schettinger. And so they said, we can make these infusions for you. And because when you take a pill, let's do real easy math. You've probably been on prescription strength ibuprofen, correct?
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Okay, so the doctor will tell you one in the morning, one in the afternoon. That's 1,600 milligrams in a day. That's 8,000 milligrams through your work week. What they don't tell you is that your body only got the benefit of 2,400 of those milligrams, because 70% of everything you take orally gets eaten up by your GI tract, your stomach, your liver, and your kidneys. So, but you have to process all of it to only get the effects of 2,400. But, you know, so if you're taking ibuprofen for pain, you got to eat 8,000 milligrams of it to kill your pain for a week, get the benefit of 2,400. And the chronic pain infusion that I offer has 9.5 milligrams of active ingredient in it, and it kills your pain over that same period of time.
Wow.
So lower impact on the body and a greater outcome. You only have to take that once a week. You know, you sit there and 20 minutes, get an IV, you go on about your business. And the great thing about it is it has things in it that make your body fight inflammation. And, you know, the number one source of pain is inflammation. But some of the ingredients in it help your body fight inflammation the way that it does naturally, or the way it did when you were younger. So the longer you take that, the more often you take that infusion, the longer you can go in between. So the first month, if let's say you started in July, you'd have one of these infusions every week in July. Then in August, you'd have two. And then in September, I would give you one. And like I take one every month, and it kills my pain for 30 days. Wow. So that's the premise behind everything. But going back to NAD, NAD, I'm going to send you a link so that you can share this. You can share it with your followers. Dr. Rhonda Patrick's lady, she's one of the foremost experts on anti-aging, and they call NAD the fountain of youth. And it's good for everything from hair to skin to energy, eyesight, everything. Because and I'm jumping around now, but you asked me an open-ended question. But you have male, female, young, old, black, white, whatever, a baby or 52-year-old man like I am. We all have 34 trillion cells in our body, give or take, and we have 220 different types of cells in our body. And every living cell in your body, which is every cell you have except for your hair, because those are dead cells, but every living cell in your body uses NAD as its fuel. And so as we get older, it's harder for your body to mine it. Now you eat crappy food, so you have less B3 in like off fruit or GMO meat and all that vegetables. are depleted both sides. So when you take that in your body, it's, so and they use it for everything from energy, longevity, to Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's. They use it to ward people off of drugs and alcohol. I mean, it's a wonderful thing. So when I found out about it, I
Yvonne,
put it down. And
Yvonne, hold up 1 second. Your phone was breaking up just a second, and you was talking about the B3. You said you found what did you find out? We didn't hear. I didn't hear what you said that you found out something about. What was it?
I'm saying, say again. I'm sorry, because now it broke up again on my end. Say again.
Yeah, you were saying that you found out about some type of vitamin. Was it B3? You were saying
vitamin B3. Yeah, man. I must have been broken up for a while. Yes, yeah. Vitamin B3.
Okay, go ahead. Start.
And that's right. Vitamin B3 is NAD, and it's present in every living cell in your body. Every cell in your body uses NAD as its fuel, so it's hugely important. And we have less and less of it as we get older. And by using NAD infusions, you can replenish the body.
Right. Okay. Man. Brother, you're a wealth of knowledge here, man. I told the people we're gonna get a lot of value out of this, this live, and that's something that I wanted to do for a while, was to start talking about health. And I know we discussed before about getting some things going and talking about health, and not just health but other topics as well. And so we finally, we get a chance to get here and dialogue together. But I do know that you've been on your Instagram talking about a lot of great things, and you brought on some people there on your Instagram as well, some doctors that share some valuable information. And
yes,
I'm gonna put your link to your Instagram so people can go follow you and go back and watch some of those videos if they're there, so that they can get caught up on some of the things that you were sharing and some of the things that the doctors were bringing to the community. Because one thing about it is that, we rely so much on the doctors, not just in our community, but doctors that are on CNN and Fox News, MSNBC, for them to give us the things that we need to know so that we can, protect ourselves. But unfortunately, we're not getting that information. And so we're relying on, professionals such as yourself, who understands the needs of the people, who also have been doing this for a while, and know who've experienced other alternatives, but says, hey, this is a great alternative. So you decided to go with the infusions, which is a great way, and it gives you some, not just one particular benefit, like you were saying with the pain, but it also fights the inflammation in a natural way. And that's what
right.
For myself, I want things naturally. I don't want synthetic drugs in my body. You know what I mean? So if I can get it in food first, I'm going that route.
That's
but
always the best way.
Yeah, but I know our food isn't, it doesn't have all the nutrients in it. So we must go to these alternative methods. But if I'm gonna go alternative, it has to be the most natural way.
That's right. As natural as you can get it. And there's no benefit, there's no reason for a doctor to give you this information, because it's, most of the information I give away is free, and it has to be, because I don't own it. It's not proprietary. It's just, no one's talking about it. But everything I talk about, you can fact check, because it's out there. It's just no one discusses it. But you have to see, the thing about wellness, the wellness industry is it's not to replace doctors. That's not what this is about. This is to mitigate your interaction with doctors, or extend the mean time between doctor visits. To see just how, if you take care of yourself, you should be able to lessen the amount of times that you have to have doctor intervention. That's all it's about, is you are the first person that's responsible for your health.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and by the time most people go to a doctor, it's too late. You go there because something's wrong. But
Mm-hmm.
if you take a wellness approach to living, then you'll have fewer visits to the doctor. That's
Yeah.
all it's about.
That's one of the classes I feel like, should have been more emphasized, not just our health and really understanding our body. Even though we had biology classes, we had chemistry classes, but nothing that really focused on nutrition and how to really eat and how to actually live. Also, we didn't get the lessons on finances, and how to manage our
That was,
money, how to
that was
live.
intentional, but that was intentional. But keep going.
You know what I mean? So we got the short end of the stick on a few subjects, but I'm glad you're here so that you can, share the knowledge. And so I want to kind of circle back around a little bit to, again, you were saying that vitamin D is something that we lack, and that's what's making the numbers kind of high in certain individuals for COVID. Is there anything else other than vitamin D that you think could be the possible reason?
Well, outside of pre-existing, I'm sorry, I'm backing up. Outside of pre-existing conditions, and so an already weakened immune system, no, you've got to, because the thing is, I mean, you've got a virus right now. I mean, something. It's just your body, your immune system is strong enough to fight it off. How old are you, Mike?
Oh man, I told you. But I'm 43.
Oh, so you've probably had cancer 7 times in your life already.
Say that
It's just
again.
your body. I said you've probably had cancer 7 times in your life already. Your body just fought it off. It happens
wow.
all the time. Yeah. So your body is constantly warding off infection. I mean, and there are things that you're exposed to every day that would have made your great grandfather sick, but because it made him sick and he passed those antibodies on to you, you no longer get sick from it. So your immune system is constantly fighting and warding it off, and there's no way for you to protect yourself from getting COVID. It's because of the ways that it's transferred. It's like getting the flu. No matter what you do, you're always going to get the flu at some point. So there's no way to prevent yourself from getting it. All you can do is be prepared when it happens. You have to have a plan of action when it comes to protecting your body and your immune system. And that's why C, D, and zinc are so important, ongoing, especially now, but ongoing. That's why thymosin, if you can get your hands on it, if you are lucky enough to know somebody like me that administers it, or if you know somebody that can give it to you and you can shoot yourself in the stomach a couple times a week with it, you might want to do that.
Mm-hmm. Thymosin. That must be some powerful stuff. So I hope. I mean, I'm gonna type that in the comments too, so people can get it.
I'll send it all to you.
Please do. Please do. And so, so again, just to be clear, we can't stop ourselves from getting COVID. We can only be prepared or to create a defense mechanism or to strengthen our defense mechanism, which is our immune system to fight it off.
Everybody in this country will get COVID. Everybody. Just like everybody in the country gets the flu at some point. It's the same thing. It's the same concept. Everybody gets every virus. There's a little known fact out there that I would encourage your viewers to fact check everything I say. That's fine, because I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to come in here and not that doctors would, but I have no credibility other than my command of the knowledge. So I'm not going to tell you anything that's not true. But fact check this: 5% of the population on the planet is immune from every disease that there is. There are 5% of the people on the planet that no matter what you do, they're never going to get certain forms of cancer. There are 5% of the people on the planet that would cough and be done with Ebola. There are 5% of the people on the planet that cannot get AIDS. There's at least 5% of people that are immune to, completely inoculated and immune to every disease on the planet. So you're going to get it. It doesn't matter what you do. I think everybody on the planet is going to have COVID before it's over. It's going to take a good number of people out just because of the ill preparedness and pre-existing conditions and all of that. But the vast majority of people are going to be fine. But then the next bug may leave the COVID people alone, and it may come and get the rest of us. You know, you have to do research to understand how these bugs work. And you know, there are some bugs that you've never been exposed to because, you know, they're regional. You know, they're like Ebola. That doesn't just run around the country. You know, so it's regionalized. It's geographic. But when you talk about things like a cold and the flu and stuff like that, everybody has that. You probably had the flu twice this year already. It's just you got a strain of it that was similar to something that you already had, so your body just brushed it off. But at some point, had we tested you, they're like, oh, you got influenza. It's like, well, I feel fine. Well, yeah, it's because it's one that your body's seen before.
Right. I was reading an article the other day that Dr. Fauci, he mentioned that there's a new strand of a virus in China that looks like the 2009
Flu.
SARS.
Yeah, H1N1. Yeah.
H1N1, right, correct. Yeah, and the 1918 influenza.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. When you talk about the flu pandemic of 1918, what people don't understand is that thing traversed the earth 4 times. Okay, first time was bad, but the second time was a beast. The second time when it killed the most people, and it went around again, third time, then the fourth time, and by then we had herd immunity, and it just kind of worked its way through. You know, they made a vaccine for it, but the vaccine, to be quite honest with you, isn't what saved people. Because, see, the thing about it is, I learned so much, and I love being with these doctors that I talk to, you know, on a daily basis. I feel honored to have access to them, but you know, when like people say, well, I got the flu shot and I still got the flu. Yeah, because they don't understand how the flu shot works and how vaccines work. You know, when you talk about something like a virus, like coronavirus or like the flu, that's a moving target. And so what they do when you get, so let's say flu vaccines they'll start giving them to you in like September, October, right? Somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. So when they give that to you, that vaccine is for last year's most deadly strain. Okay. So they're pretty much certain that you're not going to get the most deadly strain, the one that killed the most people or put the most people in the hospital. So you got the vaccine for that. But they didn't have time to make one for all 28 strains of it. They just made this one, and it covers 3 or 4 of the bad strains. Then you get the flu, and you're like, I still got the flu. Yeah, but you got a lesser derivative than you otherwise would have had you not had that vaccine. So it's the same thing here. And because, you know, when you pass it back and forth, and people are traversing the globe the way that they are, we're going to pass that around, and it's going to mutate. That's just what happens. It's going to mutate. And even the vaccines that they're talking about are not going to protect us from every strain of it. Because at first they said there was 1, then there was 4, and then the last report I heard there were 8 strains of it, and that's the one that I'm sure of. I think there's more than that, but there were 8 different strains of it. So they'll look at the deaths in this country and around the world, and they'll make the vaccine based on the most deadly 2 or 3 or whatever they can get to, you know, by next year, because they're promising us a vaccine by next year. You know, but then this thing is, well, by the time we get a vaccine, there'll be 20 strains of it, and there may already be. I don't know. So the thing is that even a vaccine, you know, you take the vaccine, you still got to take vitamin C, D, and zinc, because you may get the other strain. Mm-hmm. You know, so there's no like, do this and you're good. It's you know how they say you practice medicine? That's why, because it's always a moving target. There's no. It's never do this and everything's fine. It never works that way.
Right. Man, bro, we could talk about this all day.
Yeah, we could.
again, man, you are a wealth of knowledge, man.
Thank you,
And
man.
I'm glad you bringing that perspective, because you highlighted a few things that I did not really think about. Was the different strands, two, how the vaccine could possibly work, as far as they're creating vaccines for, again, the last or the
The
most
last most deadly.
strongest
That's
one.
right.
Yeah, and that was last year, but this year we have a mutated version of it. You know, I mean, it's just so many different variables to this. And then again, like you say, everybody has had the cold, which is influenza. Everybody has had the flu, influenza, and then this COVID-19, which is a different strand of it. You know, it's just, we're all gonna get it. It's just how we treat our bodies and our
Right.
pre-existing conditions. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
That's right.
mean,
That's right. You're going to get it. You're going to be exposed. And the funny thing is that when they start tracking all of this, I'm going to tell you that Trina and I got married on December 15th, right? And there were 7 people that were going to come on my side. I've got text messages, and I haven't been this sick in 20 years. I've never been sick like this. I don't know what's going on with me. I can't kick this. I've been sick for 2-3 weeks. I've been sick for a month. I told all those people, go get tested, because they probably had COVID, and which means that they have the antibodies, and then they could use that to help somebody else.
bruh, I ain't even gonna lie to you, man. I'm telling you, I was so sick. I was
We
supposed
talked
to,
about it.
yeah, I told you I was supposed to come to your wedding,
No, I
and
didn't want to speak for you. But go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, I went to Texas with Selena and them, and man, I was hacking, coughing. I was a hot mess, bro. I came back. I coughed for like 2-3 weeks straight. I'm talking about I couldn't sleep. I was sitting up at night, man. I felt so bad, man. I ain't never felt like that before, and I knew something was wrong with me, but I couldn't put my hands on it. I knew something was wrong, but I did not know anything about COVID until like 2-3 months later. But it did not click to
Right.
me. That's what it was, or it could have
Right.
been.
And the thing is right. And you had every symptom. Yeah. Yeah.
I had every symptom, everything that they were saying on the news. I had it. I had it. But what was weird though was nobody else around me got sick. I was the only person that got sick. I came back to work. I was thank God nobody got sick. But
Right.
man,
Right.
I was a mess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was
Yeah.
near
So,
death though. That was crazy.
and that's the thing. And nobody would hold it against you if it were the flu. Always got the flu. He'll be fine. And he may, and you'll pass it on to somebody. Somebody else may get sick from the flu, and that's just it. It's going around the office. You know that. You got kids. They go to school. They get sick. They come home. They make you sick. Then they go back to school. They catch it again. They're fine, but they give it to you again. It's just this has been happening since the beginning of time. It's just when you talk about something as deadly as COVID-19, it changes it changes people's reaction to it, but it's the same thing. We've been dealing with this forever. Yeah. So, it's just something you have to prepare as best you can. But just know your turn's probably coming if it hasn't already.
Yeah, I'm gonna check these. Let me check my Facebook and see if there's any comments. Any questions here. I posed it, but I think people are just watching because we're giving so much information. You probably just answering every question that they have. But if y'all have any questions, man, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put, if you could, you know what? Make sure you send me that link. But I'm gonna put your Instagram information on here so people can go follow you and they can, go back and check some of these videos and look at some of the posts and things that you share all the time. You got some hilarious, some funny stuff. Like, what was real funny though? Yeah. You made the bacon salad.
Bro, hey, you know what? No, all jokes aside, I never ate that bad, but it was close, bro. I've come a long way, man. I've come a long. I posted a picture the other day. It was back 2012, and I had a plate full. I was at my buddy's, is where I had my bachelor party in St. Louis. If had you come, you'd have been at Elmo's. I had a plate full of fried wings and a plate full of fried shrimp. And then I had a Lipton iced tea bottle and a Lipton lemonade bottle. And they gave me a big cup of ice. And I was making my own ghetto Arnold Palmer's. So I was drinking a ton of sugar, and I was drinking eating all that fried food.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, but I used to do that all the time.
Right.
All the time. You know, and it's just what you did. And as I've learned more, you know, I still eat meat. You know, I've tried to not eat meat. I tried that for one period of time, and it didn't go well for me because I substituted salmon and I gave myself mercury poison. I turned the pits of my fingernails like black, like the rest of my body, brown like the rest of my body. You know, and I cut down. I had bacon. Miss Braxton made me some, because she's staying with us since COVID. You know, came on and she cooks all the time, and she made bacon. And sit down and eat some before you go to work. Yes, ma'am. Right. And I ate grits and bacon and had a bunch of fruit, you know, right. That's just what I did. But the difference is that I used to have bacon 5 times a week, you know. Now I had it like on Monday, I had it, and that was, I can't remember the last time I had it. It's probably been a year, you know, so it's, and I'm not going that long with everything, but I'm trying to limit my steaks to once a month. Yeah. It's been easy, but I'm starting to, I didn't have one for almost a year, but you know, I try to say I'm going to have a steak this month, you know, at like the beginning of July, beginning of August or whatever. And chicken, that's easier for me to give up. Now, Trina and her mom cook it a lot, but that's easier for me to give up. But steak is hard, but I eat a lot of fish. Yeah. You know, so it's, I'm not, and the thing is I tell people that on my page, I'm not preaching saying, do this, do this, do this. I'm talking to myself, you know, because I'm trying to get better. Right. You know, and so me posting the bacon salad with a plate of bacon, people that can't see it, it's a plate of bacon with one little piece of lettuce on the top. And I said, damn, I forgot the bacon. But, you know, but that's how I used to eat, you know? Right. Yeah. It's me. So, you know, so I'm just trying. I'm just trying to get better, bro.
Yeah, when I seen it, that was me all day. That was me all day, man. Like I would never eat a salad. Never eat a salad, man. I just want. I want
to commend you. I gotta cut you off. I gotta commend you because once you figured out that you wanted to hone in on health and wellness, you just changed that shit overnight. You had a discipline that I didn't have. It took me years. I'm not gonna lie, it took me years. You flipped a switch, and how much weight have you lost now?
Bro, I'm gonna tell you, the switch got flipped back the other way.
Okay, and that happens.
I've been tied down in the house, man, and I just been in the refrigerator, man. I ain't even gonna lie to you, but I actually lost early this year. I was barking at 300, and I dropped all the way to 250.
Good for you, man. Good.
I dropped 250, and then I kind of scaled back just a little bit, but you know, I'm back on track. Like this, actually, these past 2 weeks has been, you know, the new challenge for me to kind of get things back going, man. I've been back on my CMOS. I've been back, you know, I had stopped juicing for a little bit, you know, but I'm back. We back juicing because we actually went through a whole thing of actually like building our pantry and stuff like that so that we can kind of be prepared for whatever. And then I kind of just started eating that stuff, you know what I mean? And one thing that put weight on you that I didn't think would put weight on you is cashew nuts. Like I would eat a ton of cashew nuts, man.
High in fat.
You know?
High in fat. They're good for heart to a certain degree. They're good for blood pressure, but they will put weight on you because they're high in saturated fats. So you know everything in moderation. And whereas I'm stopping eating this, I'm not gonna eat this. It's like, no, I'm still gonna eat all this shit. I'm just gonna eat it less. You know? Exactly. Because I love steak. You know, but if I had to pick between steak and fish, you know, I would give up steak and I would take fish. But if someone said to live to be, you know, 100, you got to give up fish, I'm like, well, I ain't gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. You know,
I'm gonna eat. I had salmon yesterday and today. I'm sorry. That's just my style. I'm gonna eat salmon.
That's right. bruh, when I gave myself mercury poisoning, I ate it every day for lunch and dinner for 5 months. Every day. Every day. I was going to Aldi and I was buying 2 of the big slabs of it for about $18, and I could eat off that shit. I would, cut it down the middle, eat a square, lunch, dinner, lunch, dinner, lunch, dinner. I probably get 6 or 7 servings out of a slab. I was eating that shit every day. And the doctor that I was telling you about that I was working with, Dr. Shettinger, he's like, "You don't look good, son." And he's like, "You look a little peaked." He said, "I had yellow in my eyes," and he looked at my fingernail pits. He's like, "Your fingernail pits don't look like that. They look like my skin, And he said, "You got to come to the office. We got to give you some tests." He's like, "You have mercury poisoning. You're about to shut your kidneys down." Yeah. So I'm trying to do the right thing by not eating meat, but I was killing myself by eating too much salmon. So you got to do it all in moderation. It's just but everything I've done is trial and error, bro. I'm just trying to get better like everybody else. But there's information that I have, and I like repairing my knees. That's something that I did to where a doctor said, "You've got 30% cartilage in your left knee." And then when I went to see Dr. Lehman and I got the PRP and we did a MRI 7 months, 8 months later, as a matter of fact, because it was about, right after my dad died, I was at 62%. So whereas I was to play ball, I was taking ibuprofen, 800 milligrams. I was even taking some Vicodin, Percocet, and stuff like that because the pain was so great. I can go play ball right now and I won't have any knee pain. And that's been fine. Well, I just had it redone 2 weeks ago, but that's been like that for 5 years. So I know the stuff works. Now conversely, I had PRP done on my back and it made my back hurt worse. Why? Because my back has been out of kilter because I got undercut playing ball and fractured vertebrae, and a couple of them are out of place and the disc has been smashed or whatever. And so it started to heal in place. So once I got PRP in my back, it hurt worse. Like everything's trial and error. And now we're in the process of fixing that too. But it's not a sun loss. It's not like 100% right or it's wrong. There's an area in there where you just have to find what works for you, because you and I can preach about it all day. I watch people. I have 2 friends that are vegan, and they're both my age. One's 53, the other one's 52, and they look great. I want to look great too, but I'm not passing on that steak. They've figured out a way to just give it up. And kudos to them, but I'm not them. I can't do it.
Yeah.
But my way is going to be different. It's going to look different, and we'll see what my longevity turns. Now, conversely, those 2 dudes are giving themselves NAD infusions every 8 weeks, like I am. So we'll see.
Yeah.
So I'm not a doctor. I don't have the right or the ability to do any type of testing on anybody else. So I'm my own guinea pig. And you know what? And before we go, I'm gonna give you one other thing. So I just recently completed a 22-year study on myself without knowing. So at about 28 or 29, I think, I started taking this stuff called DHEA, dehydroepiandrosterone, DHEA. You've heard of it. We've talked about it, I believe. And it helps your body make testosterone. And I was lucky enough I went and got like a second or third batch, and this guy said, "So how long you been on DHEA?" I said, about 6 months, 8 months. He's like, "Are you taking saw palmetto?" And I'm like, "No, what's that?" He's like, "Well, that's good for your prostate." And what happens is because I was young, I was 29, and he was older than me, and he said, what happens is when you build up high levels of testosterone and you don't flush your system, it builds up and it can cause prostate cancer. I'm like, "Well, I'm flushing my system, meaning I'm having sex." But I was 28 or 29. He was older than me. He's like, "Well, you and your wife won't have sex, like that in 15 years. You just won't." And of course he's right, because that's what happens. But he said, take saw palmetto because it'll mitigate the effects of the negative effects of DHEA. So you can get all the benefits of it, but you won't swell your prostate. So I took that to heart. And so at about 29 and a half or 30 years old, I've been taking saw palmetto religiously for 22 years. I'm 52 now. And the reason I tell you the story is this. So I have my blood work done because even though I've taken fairly good care of myself, my T levels were low. And we need to talk about that. There's a lot of stuff we can talk about. I want to talk about apricot seeds. I want to talk about there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about. So if you have me back on, we'll go into. I'm not going to do all that tonight because
we're gonna do this all
but
the time. Yeah,
that's good. We should. So, so I had my T levels tested, and they were really low, really low. So, I what I wanted to know, because I'd never had testosterone shots. I had my 10th one, so I get them once a week. I had my 10th one this past Wednesday, and I'm a different person. Mentally, I'm a different person. Physically, I'm a different person. Aches and pains went away. My sex drive was always okay, and it was always better than what you would expect at 52, right? But now it's, like I'm 22, 25 again. It's weird. So, all the things, all the good things, you have to, you also have to take some other things, because it can build up estrogen in certain men. We got to talk about a lot of the doctor I have, the doctor that administers mine. I work with her in my office because I can't just administer IVs. I have to be overseen by a doctor, meaning they've got to be, somewhere in the vicinity. They don't have to be in the office per se, but she has to know everything I'm giving everybody, right? Well, she does my testosterone, and my testosterone was low, very low for a man. It was 302. Still lifting weights, still going out running, whatever. It's 302. Still able to have sex, without pills or whatever, but 302, just low. And it doesn't always equate to low testosterone, doesn't always equate to low sex drive, but it equates to other stuff like aches and pains, like irritability, not wanting to be around anybody, sleeping more, stuff like that. Now, those are the things that I was doing, and so now, after 10 weeks, it's back up to about 1,000. You should be at least 750 as a man.
750.
But I'm at 750. But I'm at about 1,000 now. Where I want to stay between 1,000 and 1,100, because that's where you're at your optimal. When you were 27 years old, your T levels were between 950 and 1,200. So if I can stay between 1,000 and 1,100, I'll be fine. So, but anyway, but two things happened. I found out, which made me sad, that my T levels were really low, but that's normal because I'm 52 years old. But for a man my age at 52 years old, my PSA, a normal PSA for a man my age, is between 3 and 4. Okay. And the scale goes all the way up. Now, you don't worry about, you get worried at about, 4.5, 5. At 6, 7, 8, 9, you're looking at pre-cancer. At 10 plus, you're looking at prostate cancer, right? But you're in the trouble zone from 4.5 and up, right? So a person of my age should be at 3 and 4, between 3%, the number 3 and the number 4. My PSA is a 0.88, so it's less than 1.
Right.
And the only thing to attribute that to is 22 years of saw palmetto. So again, I took it because I was taking DHEA, and I actually stopped taking DHEA because it gives you kidney stones. And they gave it to me twice, once in 2010 and once in 2015, and it was bad. Matter of fact, in 2015, I went to St. Luke's Hospital in St. Louis, and I had the largest kidney stone anybody there had ever seen. It was, remember, the pencil that they give little kids that's about this big, and they start writing?
Ooh.
I had a kidney stone the size of one of those erasers. No one in that hospital had, they got pictures of it. No one had ever seen a kidney stone that big. It had to be broken up like 5 times.
Yeah, there's no way
that you couldn't pass that. They had to go in and break it up, and then I had to stint in for 6 months, all kinds of stuff. But the DHEA is what gave me kidney stones. But I still kept taking saw palmetto. So a 22-year study, and my PSA is at 0.88. So
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So
for those men who's trying to take care of their prostate, then if you're gonna take DHEA, then you have to take its cofactor.
Gotta take saw palmetto. But whether you're taking DHEA or not, as a man who's getting older, to protect your prostate, you need to take saw palmetto. You should take that anyway.
Period.
Take it anyway. As a matter of fact, I have a friend of mine who's at about he said this is at a 9. And he couldn't, he was peeing all different times of night, and he could never empty bladder. I told him to get on saw palmetto, and he said within 3 days he was able to empty his bladder, and he wasn't getting up at night peeing 5 and 6 times. It's a wonder drug. Not only that, it's good for your skin, and if you have asthma, it's good for asthma too.
So let me ask you a question now, because I've had this issue here before now. So and I take, you know, high blood pressure. I was off for a while, but because of my gain back, my weight gain, me gaining my weight back, I'm actually back on the pills. Because when I lost weight, my blood pressure dropped significantly.
Of course
You
it
know,
did.
significant. It was I did. I'm like, man, why didn't I do this years ago? Just lose the weight, Mike. You know, and so, but anyway, gaining the weight back, just those few pounds put me back on the pill. So now I understand and see, you know, what it takes for me to get off of these pills, and so I'm working back towards that again. But you know, I was wondering, was it the pills? Which I'm probably sure it could, you know, it has something to do with that too. But when you have to use the restroom and then it's like you can't really hold it, like you gotta go. You know what I mean? Is that prostate too? Or
That's one that's definitely one of the I'm not a doctor, but that's definitely one of the symptoms of prostate is being unable to. And here's the other thing. We're gonna tell the guys out here this. Stop holding your pee. You got to take a leak, go take a leak, because it stretches your bladder, and over time you won't be able to hold it. So I mean, if I think I have to pee before I leave home, I just do it. You know, and that's something I do. I had an older gentleman tell me that I was probably 35. You know, and so I just started. I implemented that because that's a free thing you can do to make your life better. You know, besides, why should you hold pee when you got to pee? Just go. You know, but having to go and not being able to hold it, like, damn, I should be able to at least wait 5 minutes. I got to go now. That can be a symptom of an enlarged prostate. So you got to take a look at that.
take a look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, but and you should be getting it checked. They tell you to start checking your prostate at 50, you know, which is weird. But my father had prostate cancer. He actually had to have his removed. And so I had my first exam at 40 years old because I was scared, you know, which there's nothing wrong. But I didn't know that salt palmetto may have had something to do with it. But now I do, you know. So, but you gotta get that checked out. But you need to be on salt palmetto anyway. It can do nothing but help you.
We gotta kind of circle back around on that, because you know there's some more topics, because that's more specifically for men, and I think we need to really just kind of generalize and start having more topics around men's health, because one thing men don't do is go to the hospital, you know. So we gotta have those conversations.
Two things. We don't go to the doctor, and we don't talk about shit.
Yeah.
So and both of those are a death sentence.
Yeah.
You know, I speak freely about my health, and I'll tell you this. You know, PRP is good for joints or whatever, but it's good for a host of other things. PRP facials or the vampire facelift. We do that. Haven't had that. I'm about to have one because I don't want to promote stuff that I haven't done. So we do and P shot. I can't do an O shot because that's for women. It goes in the G and the wrong vagina. It tightens it. It helps re-strengthen the pelvic floor. It helps with incontinence and all that. And then there's a P shot for men, which is rejuvenating for your penis. So, and I had that done. I had that done 2 months ago. And you know, it's so before I started taking, I must have been 3 months ago, because I had that done before I started taking testosterone. So before I started taking testosterone, there was a difference, because what it does, you know, if you're a man, a normal man, you know, there's wear and tear on your penis because you use it all the time, you know, and you've probably fallen on it. You rolled over on it 100 times when you were younger, and you wake up with an erection, you roll over on it. That causes damage to capillaries. You do it enough times. So, you know, your arteries and capillaries in there, the veins in there get stressed over time. And so I had PRP done on it, and different person, bro. Different person. I mean, that's basically using, and we need to go into, I don't want to do it tonight because I actually need to run, but we need to explain what PRP is. It's basically using what's in your body, condensing what's in your body. It's all over your body, condensing it in a certain area so that you have all of these stem cells concentrated on one specific area doing a job. And we do probably 3 P shots a week now. And these guys are just, I mean, I didn't expect some of the things that happen. I expected functionality to be better. You know, I didn't have a problem with incontinence, thank God, but I expected functionality to be better, which it was, but it increased size, length, and girth. It does a lot, sensitivity, all of that. It's just, it's something that you can do for I mean, we only charge for a P shot, we charge like $900 for a P shot, you know, and a lot of places charge twice that. We charge $900 for it, and it's changing people's lives.
And that's something that you get a shot like once a year, 6 months.
No, you may only need it once, but it's not a shot. And I'll just tell you, you know, just penis is, you know, elongated. You do 4 up the side and 1 on this side in the head, 4 up the side and 1 on the side in the head, and it just rejuvenates your penis.
Yeah, we got to circle back around to that. That's a very deep.
But the O shot for women, the women get the O shot and go crazy. They get the O shot and go crazy because it increases sensitivity, makes them more orgasmic. It tightens and it fights incontinence. It does so much for women. It's ridiculous. And this is all stuff that we're just taking out something in your body and concentrating it into a specific area, and you're getting results. You got to have people just have to go out, Google the O shot, Google the P shot. So I've seen the effects. We did Trina's mom. We did we've done tons of vampire facelifts or PRP facelifts, but we did Trina's mom. She had great skin to begin with, but I mean, for 2 months she looked pregnant, and she's 70 something. You know what I mean? Because she had a glow. So, and we've done some men, but so I can speak. I like to speak firsthand about stuff. I'm gonna have a PRP facial done in the next week or so. I'll probably be live when I do it, you know, and then we'll just see what I look like before and after.
Oh, that'd be nice. That'd be real nice. That'd be real nice. So look, man, I'm not gonna hold you. I mean, you know, I hope people are gonna go back and watch this video because you shared like valuable information. People would have to go out and pay for it. They just got all of this here for free.
Right. That's right. And you know what? That's the thing. You'll have, if you went to some place and tried to get a consultation for everything you and I talked about, you'd have maybe $60, but you'd have to do it 3 times. I give away a ton of free information because it's information that's out there. You just have to go seek it out. Now the treatment is what costs, you know, and quite honestly, the vast majority of people, matter of fact, everybody except for 1 or 2 people that are watching, if they get this therapy, they're going to get it from someplace other than me. And that's cool because I'm doing my job by sharing. You know, what people do with the information is up to them.
Most definitely. Well, Vaughn, man, I appreciate you again, man, and we're gonna definitely link up, man, and we just got to link up, period. You know what I mean? And
we really do. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna call you probably after we get off the phone. It's gonna be private, but there's some other things I want to talk about that I've been doing pretty recently with the current climate and all of that. And it's about wellness, but a different type of wellness that, you know, we need to be more astute in this area. And I've been remiss about it for some years, but I'm fixing that now. And there's a lot of stuff we need to talk about, bro, a lot. So I'm gonna call you when we get done. Once I go, we're at Tamika's house because it's her daughter Armani. You know Tamika Scott that was on the show much.
Yeah.
It's her daughter Armani's birthday, and so I'm gonna go in here, say what's up to her and Darnell, and kiss the baby, and then I'm gonna call you back. So we got some stuff we need to talk about.
Hey man, I'm right here, man. Hey man, I appreciate it, man, and congratulations again on the wedding, man. And
thank you, bro.
You know, and let's do this real soon.
We gotta say one more thing. Because this shit was not a honeymoon. So Trina was starting to get menopause before. Well, it seemed like right after we got married, she just got that shit. And it was and then we got quarantined. It was a freaking nightmare. And she speaks about it, you know, I'm not stepping out of bounds, but speaking out of turn, she talks about it all the time. It was absolutely dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. It was horrible. Her mood swings were like a roller coaster. And I mean, like if every turn on the roller coaster was as high as it could go and as low as it can go, it was like that all the time. And so what we did is, you know, women can take testosterone shots too, there's another thing, and I gotta say this because we just got to double back. But there are testosterone pellets that you get placed right at the top of your butt cheek. For women, they last 3 or 4 months. Men, they last 5 or 6 months, and you just alternate sides and you get them. And she got 2 testosterone pellets placed in her buttock, and it all but saved our marriage. But we weren't going to get divorced, but that shit was rough. Right. And it's funny. And the thing about it is, once she leveled out, she realized how up and down she was. So not just men benefit from testosterone, women too, and especially peri, and menopausal women, they can benefit from that stuff too. So we got to come back and talk about all of that. And I'll have Trina come on and talk about her experience with it too.
Menopause, that's a great topic.
Oh my God, bro.
Yeah, that's menopause, man. I know, like, for my mother, that's been me and my mom, we talk about everything. And that's a conversation we have, me and my wife, we talk about that.
Bro.
And I have women on my page that have talked about menopause. I've seen some posts recently about it. And it's like, people don't understand what it is. You know what I mean? Like, there's no one out here talking about it. We need to do that.
Bro, that shit is real. I literally was sleeping in a long sleeve t-shirt because it was so hot. I mean, so cold in the bedroom, and she's over there sweating. It's
oh my God.
That shit's real. And it can last 10 years.
So, me, because I'm having this very conversation right now.
Bro, there's something we do. It doesn't cost a ton of money, and it shows huge results, man. Huge results. There's not medicine involved. You just get these testosterone pellets put in, and you forget about them. And she's a different person, man. I've hung out with her a lot during this, quarantine, because I had to. But I hung out with her all day today, and I had fun. I liked it. I wanted it. Because she's back to how she was. You know what I mean? I'm just being real.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, but we got to talk about all this stuff, man.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, man. All right, man. I'm going to let y'all go, man. Tell everybody I said, hey, man.
Will do. All right, man. Thank you. Take care, Mike.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, bro. Bye. Later.
Man, that was a great one. Really, really great. Really great, man. I'm glad everybody enjoyed that. I hope y'all enjoyed that. If you got any questions about anything, make sure you leave that comment, and let's get into it, man.